has given us a wake-up call on things that we've been teaching. That now they're supposed to stand the test, saying the things that they've been teaching, drinking water, exercise, fresh air, rest enough, so we got the Sabbath, and then trusting in God. Because at the end of the day, as much as we have this food, at the end of the day, it's God who provided this thing for our nourishment. That's why he says, whatever that we ought to take, he's supposed to advise us. By this time, we are supposed to be saying to the world, give God an answer.
So, I think there's a number of things that Brother Mike has already said. Your question again was practical ways in which we deal with this virus. So the immediate thing, as we already mentioned, that this thing is transmitted through either a sick person sneezing through you, or sneezing and then you catching it, or you touching a surface, touching yourself after that. So this is why the world over has urged people to practice social distancing as much as possible, which I think we are missing. Yes. So that's the first thing, to practice social distancing and also to keep your hands clean all the time, and then avoid touching your face on top of that as much as possible. So if you limit going out as much as possible, and then when you have went out, the first thing that you're supposed to do when you come back is that you're supposed to wash your hands. Because by the way, washing your hands, with even regular soap is even better than sanitizers. Because I hear a lot of people selfishly going out and buying everything so that no one else can get them. I guess this is to speak to your point that situations like these, when there's a crisis of sorts, they have a tendency of revealing who we are. Yes. We're not supposed to be thinking selfishly, because in any case, if I go out and I buy everything that's supposed to help people, then that means everyone around me is going to be sick. So I may survive for a short amount of time, but sooner or later I'm going to catch it. So those are some of the practical things that we can do in terms of like the immediate thing. Social distances, keep your hands clean. In fact, just wash your body. You're supposed to be washing yourself in any case. And make sure that you avoid touching your face as much as possible. And then the second part, Brother Mike has spent, I think, a lot of time dwelling on it, which I will not. The stronger your immune system is, the better it is for you. The better your body will be able to deal with this virus, even if you do find yourself coming into contact with it. But even though that is the case, though, I must add that it is still very important to practice the other things of social distancing, etc. Because though it may not impact you, it may infect you but not impact you, but you can still be a carrier. And then if you're a carrier and then you end up infecting someone whose immune system is weak, then that person can end up being sick and then dying. So it's not enough. I can be certain, for instance, I'm 34 this year. So I know that I'm in that bracket that is relatively safe, because it's mainly children who are very young and people who are very elderly who get hit the hardest by this thing and even die. So I know I'm relatively safe. So even if, God forbid, I were to be infected by this thing, chances are it would not hit me heavily. But even though that's the case, I'm not an island unto myself. So I have to think about people around me. So that's why I have to play my part to ensure that I do not end up being a spread factor and then end up maybe infecting someone whose immune system may not necessarily be strong enough to deal with this thing. But yes, it's a wake-up call, especially for our Seventh-day Adventists, because we've had this knowledge concerning, because even the people around the world, there are reports that eat more wholesome food, eat more vegetables and fruit. You know, you can use garlic. It helps fight this thing and all of these things. Knowledge that as Adventists we have been long privy to for over 100 years. So really, we should be amongst the people to whom the world is running to for help under this time. But the reality of the matter is that we are not. Because one, we have been heavily neglecting, not only neglecting, but even hating this health message that we have been given. Whereas it's a message that is supposed to, assist us to be wholesome people. That is to say, to be healthy in not only spiritually, but in terms of our physical health. So these are some of the things that help this thing. The social distancing and washing of hands and all of that, that's something that you can do immediately. The starting to eat wholesome food, try to cut down on your meat or completely stop using meat and dairy products and all of these things where you can. These are some of the things that people all around the world may start considering seriously and looking into it. Which, by the way, I mean we already know all around the world there is a move towards vegetarianism and veganism, because they are beginning to realize that this seems to be a better way of life overall in terms of like health and exercising more fresh air, exposure to the sun and all of these things, and ultimately trusting in God, which will be my last point as far as this thing is concerned. Because after all is said and done, it does not matter how much health things I can do. That is still not a guarantee that I cannot get this thing and I cannot spread it. We ultimately, while not neglecting our duty, doing everything that we can, but we ultimately trust in God that it is ultimately Him who can be able to, because especially when you think about the poorer communities, for instance, you think about their ability to deal with some of these things, it's significantly less compared to people who have maybe the means to get all of the masks and the whatever that they can use to protect them. So this is why ultimately we say, Lord, we will play our part as you have given us brains to think, but ultimately we trust in you. That all of those areas, all of our blind spots, I may not be able to see everything. I'll play my part and I surrender everything else to you so that you can be able to take care of my shortcomings, as it were. So in a nutshell, I think that is the approach with which we should view this.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. You have mentioned some critical issues here. Do you think now, if we had a number of sanitariums in South Africa, as Seventh-day Adventists, we would be in a better position to deal with this crisis?
Okay, I'll ask that. It goes without saying. Look, I'll answer you on a detour and then as a quick detour and then come directly to what you are asking. One of the most serious, when we read in the Bible, right? I know we're dealing with the health aspect, but we'll jump a little bit on just one of the things. When we read the Bible, we often find that, and starting in the Old Testament, and we read the journey of God's people and God interacting with His people in the midst of the nations. We often find that one of the greatest problems of God's people is their deep desire to become like everyone else. Instead of them embracing their the fact that they are peculiar. Yeah. Is that the word? Peculiarity. Yeah. English is my second language. Anyways, so and by the way, that is not to say that God's people were being called to be arrogant. There's a difference between being arrogant and looking at everyone else and saying, I'm better than everyone else. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking of the fact that they have been called by God to be a unique people, so that they can learn of God and then be able to to be a repository of unique, as it were, truth that they can then spread to the world. So the health practices, as I said, we've had this knowledge. People are only now, there's a real craze all around the world. I'm using the example of a plant-based diet, of veganism, if you like, for simplicity, a term that most people are familiar with. There's a craze now in the world that people, we should stop eating meat and all of those things. Seventh-day Adventists have known this knowledge for over 100 years, that the world is only now getting crazy over. So you can only imagine if Seventh-day Adventists had taken this message, for instance, again I'm saying, I'm just using one example in an ocean of all of these interconnected health-related things that form a whole. If Seventh-day Adventists had taken the issue of a plant-based diet seriously, and for over a century they had been practicing it, there would be far less cases of all of the things that are associated with, like, a diet that is rich in flesh and all of these things. There would be far less cases amongst Adventists concerning that. And by the way, just a quick example, for instance, we know for a fact that the longest living community in the US is Loma Linda. That's why if you want the oldest people who are the healthiest and all of that, and this is an independent study that was not even done by Adventists, called the Blue Zone study. It's in Loma Linda. And what makes the Loma Linda community special is that they actually practice, it's a group of Adventists. They practice this knowledge that we as Adventists should have. So if it was not just Loma Linda, but it was the entire Adventist community of millions of Adventists, people would have no option but to ask, where are you getting this information from? So now to answer your question more directly, if we had sanitarians all around, the country, and they were practicing not just wanting to be like everyone else and just flooding with pharmaceutical medicine, but the main focus was on wholesomeness, on natural remedies and all of that, the world would be saying, hey, by the way, there's this group of people that maybe we need to consult with, because they seem to be, in fact, we know all along that they've been generally healthy, and even in dealing with these things, they seem to have a way out. We'd be in a better position. But sadly, since we have neglected to do that, we are, as Brother Mike said, like everyone else, running around without any hope. So it is indeed an opportunity, because this coronavirus is going to pass. But the question is, we will pause and say, let us learn and start implementing the things that God has given us for a long time, so that the world can begin to receive help from us as God intended.
Yeah. Just to add on, even being honest with ourselves, even going to sanitarium, we are even still far. It was supposed to be something that has been practiced in our churches, let alone the sanitarium. Of course, the sanitarium, as my brother has already explained, it's one of the things that we're supposed to be having. But unfortunately, maybe it's just a few that we can try to mention around the country. And with the message that we have, he mentioned a very valid point of saying, he brought it in the context of being selfish. Everybody is buying. Now, the issue is, what about those who don't have money to buy? That's where our gospel comes in. It's so cheap in such a way it can be affordable, but even by a person who's not even working. That's how practical our gospel is, because it's reaching everyone. For a person to be taught, stand in the sun for certain times of period, exercise, all those things, vitamin C, vitamins that we get, for instance, from the sun. Vitamin D. Vitamin D, I mean. Now, we understand there are those who can afford to buy vitamin D, but there are those who can receive for free without even buying it. But people who have knowledge of that, they are sitting with the knowledge, unfortunately. We are sitting with the knowledge. That's supposed to be a solution not only to ourselves, but to our surrounding community. I'll give you an example. You mentioned the issue of being critical here. This has been a very quite interesting subject because it came to the point of whereby when the committee were supposed to come and find answers from us, they found us, we were nowhere to be found. And in one of the practical things, what we have done from the church perspective, we developed standard operating procedure. During this crisis, we are careful not to neglect the precautionary measures because we are simply saying we will do what human effort can do because we are doing this thing for our own corporate. How much more can we do the similar thing when coming to the issue of church space? Saying that let's develop standard operating procedure, and we applied that because there was a debate. Are we doing the church? Are we doing the church? They said no. Let's do what human effort can do. Fundamental of Christian education, it says God is expecting us to do what humankind is able to do. God intervenes where we are unable to. Which means what we are simply saying here, we are not saying blindly or without being professional or without thinking the safety of people who say, we'll just go to church and pray, God is there to safeguard us. It's like simply saying, I'll open the door for my house and then I'll sleep. I know God is having angels who can watch over me. They will get in that house, they will clean everything. When I wake up, should I wake up by the way?
Yeah.
They won't do anything. Which means what we are saying, we are simply saying, a prayer is not a substitute for human effort.
Yes.
Neither fasting. Fasting and praying and so forth. Still, we are saying, as much as we attend, we are going to churches, there are precautionary measures that we put in place. Because we got to remember that a church is an appointed agency for the salvation of men. Now, if appointed agency of salvation of men is one leaf and we've got crisis, then we've got a bigger crisis. Because we have to be practical. We are not saying we are ignorant of the coronavirus taking place, but we are saying from human perspective, from human point of view, what are the measures that we are putting in place that are reasonable? He mentioned, since we've got vast information, knowledge. He mentioned, if everyone is buying everything, we're not supposed to be doing that. Because we have been teaching the issue of stewardship. Now, where does that one fall? Now, these are some of the practical things that we can put in place. Today, the church where we are worshiping, by the way, is a rental church. It's a community service space. Now, being at someone's territory, I said we've got this standard operating procedure that we would like to share with you, because we are even aware of the government laws that a certain